Not many would walk blindly into a crypt, smelling of steel and blood, but not fear. I feel the hunger inside of you, gnawing at you. You see the dead, and your mouth grows wet. Your stomach growls. It's all right. I will not shun you for what you are. Stay. I will tell you everything you have forgotten.
You were young when you first tasted human flesh, weren't you? A brother or sister had died? An accident, of course. Then the hunger set in. Curiosity. What's the harm in just one bite? It's okay now. You found a friend who understands you. You can let go of your guilt.
Guilt? What are you talking about?
A lot of our kind block out the memory of their first meal. The shame is too much. But you don't need to hide anymore. Namira, the Lady of Decay, accepts you for what you are. She has a place for us where we can sate our appetites without judgment.
Where is this place?
It's inside Reachcliff Cave. But the dead have stirred from their slumber recently, and I was forced here. Meet me there. We'll fight our way to Namira's embrace together. Until then, tell the people of Markarth that their dead won't be disturbed anymore. We have bigger plans ahead.
You here to see the Jarl. No sudden moves, understand?
You've returned. What happened in the Hall of the Dead?
The Hall of the Dead is safe now.
Divines preserve you. You're a hero. We'll reopen the hall right away. Here, take my amulet as a reward. Arcade protect you.
It's dark in here. Watch your step.
Aletheus's Notes, by Aletheus. Salonia. We've been saddled with some researchers who can't go 4 steps without examining something, and they fight about as well as you'd think, probably worse. Strom at least has some magical competence, but none of them can swing a sword. Urge and Crag seem to be up to something, so I'll have to keep an eye on them. Stobbs assures me that they're trustworthy. Aletheus.
I have a question. Why does everyone in Skyrim have a journal? I guess we must be missing out on something. You know what? That's it. The next town we go to, I need to get myself a journal and some writing materials. I'm gonna write down my thoughts.
I have things to study. What is it?
Good dog.
I've killed Nimhe.
You have my gratitude. That spider had been interfering with my excavations for months. As promised, here's the key to the Dwemer Museum. Mind the displays. Some of them are quite fragile.
I've found this expedition journal.
Oh, really? This looks like someone from Stauben's little group. A brave scholar, but not very wise. If you find Stauben, it would be good to see any notes he may have collected. I doubt you'll find him alive, though.
I'd like to make an investment in your business.
Excellent. I think you'll be glad that you made this decision.
Let's see what you can do with this.
Thank you. I'll be sure to put it to good use.
You're researching the Dwemer?
Yes. Their history and culture is all around us in Markarth. A race of stonecutters, artisans, and engineers. They invented machines and built elaborate underground cities where they researched powers to rival the gods themselves. And then, at a time we are still not sure when, they disappeared. The whole people, all at once, leaving behind only their works.
Why do you need guards?
To protect my research, for one. There are more cutthroat scholars out there who would steal my findings if they got the chance. And the excavations into Nichuanzel are dangerous. Dwemer machines and traps still functional, even after thousands of years.
What have you got for sale?
So you wish to master the arcane arts? What? Oh, goodbye.
Hold Warren City underneath the keep. The shoeing cellar. Best steer clear if you don't want a steam centurion carving you up.
See the mammoth? Watch out for the ones with the carvings on their tusks. That's how the giants mark their herds. Watch that a mudcrab doesn't nip you on the arse, ugly little bastards. You want to make this ugly? Fine. You can go to hell. You're a bit distracting in a fight. I mean, I like watching you fight. I like watching you in that fight. Right, let's go.
You'll be so much easier to rob when you're dead. That it? That's your best?
Stop. good, can I? What is it, boy? What is it? She. You want to do this the hard way?
A fight?
Kill him.
Is someone there?
What was that?
I will protect you, Dragonborn. These bandits deserve little more than a blade in their spine.
That's a nasty way to...
Boy, picking a fight now, eh?
I love it when you touch me. Heal me. I mean heal me, right? peaceful here.
Fuck right off. Problem solved. I've seen my share of Tamriel, but nothing compares to the wilds of Skyrim. She's beautiful, as she is dangerous. Aye, Skyrim is a wild and fierce land. There is beauty here as well, though.
This what you want, huh? Here we go.
Is that worse, I suppose? The clean solitude of being in the open wilds.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Can you show me to my table?
Of course.
If you are reading this, I am dead, and so you will have to hear my toast in spirit. Of course, a little business first. As I have no living heirs, I've decided the manor will be bequeathed to you, provided you finish this last meal. As you know, I have always loved dinner parties, and so, for my final dinner, I've decided to have a few friends over. Varen, you and I shared a long and fruitful business partnership, but you altered the books to give yourself a larger cut. Don't think I didn't notice. Marina, you were my first love, but also my first mistake. For your love was not mine alone, and for that, I can never forget. Ygritte, you were my ward, and in some ways I considered you a daughter. But a daughter does not plot to steal an inheritance, so I will teach you this lesson as a father would. Leothil, we fought in the war together, and our bond is in many ways sacred. Yet I know the horrors you committed to survive, and while I dismissed it then, I cannot now. Galtius, my old imperial friend who used to drink wine with me at the Surly Brothers Vineyard in Skingrad. One night, you drank too much and saw fit to insult my family. I told you I forgave you, as you were drunk. I did not. Lastly, Lirya, we have never met. I brought you here on a whim. You're here as a wild card, a chance to change the fates of my friends, or to revel in it. Much like in my fate in the next world, it's far more exciting, you see, if the future is unknown. And with that said, drinks are served.
was that? What was that?
No more! I heal! Enough!
This isn't good riddance.
What are you looking at? What now?
The vampires are all dead, and the will says the house belongs to me.
Very good. But you've created a debt between us. Here, take this. We're even now. Good dog. This better be good.
I love dogs. It's always nice to have one by your side. To hunt with and share your game and fire.
Good dog.
Hired Thug's missive. It seemed like an easy enough job. Groz and me done plenty like it before. Some chinless Breton wants bodyguards for a trip into the mountains. Fine, easy clink for us. He goes on about this twice forsaken mask of his the whole way, of course. Got a pretty good laugh when Groz snatched it and put it on her face. He threatened to fire us for that one. Not smart out here on your own. He realized that right fast and shut up about not paying. So we get here, he thumbs through some papers and mutters to himself, "Never you mind that me and Groz had to cut through 10 stinking trolls just to get him here, and without so much as a warning, poof, he's put on that mask and vanished. Could have put my hands on his throat one moment, the next, he's not so much as thin air. Well, after a while we didn't know what to do, and Groz picks up her gear to head home. When he poofs back, that mask in his hand, begs us not to leave. Says he needs us to wait. This is what he's paying us for." And he puts the mask back on his sorry face, and he's gone again. I'd seen cloaks do invisibility before, but a few swings of my fist proved he wasn't pulling that one. Nothing there to hit. He shows up again, tells us he just needs more time, has to figure out something about the other masks, and vanishes again. That was yesterday, and I'm done with twiddling my thumbs and writing letters to myself. We're leaving come sunrise, and if he shows up again, I promise Azura I'm putting this dagger through his chest to keep him in one place. We'll pull more loot off him dead than he could have paid alive, but not the mask. That cursed thing can stay and rot with him and the trolls right here.
Ios, Animal God, by Burgess Soma. The statues one sees throughout Valenwood and ports of Hammerfell and elsewhere that seem to be of misshapen humanoid carrying a rod, or of Ios, god of animals. The rod he carries has its origin in the tale of the ox and the evil farmer. It seems that one day an evil farmer decided to kill all of his animals and have a big party. As the story unfolds, animal after animal is killed and prepared for a big meal. Lastly, the farmer comes to the ox and prepares to slit its throat. The ox, not wishing to be anybody's dinner, prayed very vocally to Aias. This came out as a loud moo, of course. At that very instant, Aias appeared carrying a rather large set of balance weights. Without explanation, Aias ate the farmer and vanished. Ever since that day, Aias, the extremely agitated, has always been portrayed as carrying a large set of scales with him. Local Aias worshippers have no idea why and do not seem to care. Although this story has been called fanciful at best, I personally know a raccoon who has actually talked to the ox. That is, before the ox became filler for the local inn's larder. I do not have any information one way or the other about the validity of the second myth. It is, however, quite traditional. It seems that many years ago, before the reign of Uriel Septim VII, before the reign of Sepphoris Septim II, yes, even before the age of Pelagius Septim III, long may his name be praised, there lived a wombat who was the pet of Lady Grelina, daughter of the Lord Prufrock of Rock Creek. Lady Grelina loved her wombat so, and it loved her too with all the passionate intensity a marsupial can muster. Unfortunately, it was a time of great sorrow to Rock Creek. A pestilence had come through the town, destroying all their cash crops, which consisted of raspberries and a few scraggly old weeds that caused Argonian women to look very attractive to those who partook. Then a plague had come, inflicting nearly every cobbler with chronic hiccups. Finally, a witch had cursed the townspeople, so the only words they could utter were, precisely. All the businesses, stores, and guilds fled from the town faster than an extremely fast thing. Lady Grelina saw her father despairing the loss the town was suffering, so she brought her wombat in and told him, "Father, my wombat can save us all, for it is sacred to the god Aias, god of animals." The only reason I didn't tell you earlier is because I am an early adolescent going through that period where I don't like to communicate. But please, ask a wish of my wombat, and Aias will fulfill it, for my wombat loves me. The king thought this was fairly flaky, but he had nothing to lose, so he uttered a modest wish to the wombat. "All I want is for one business to come back to Rock Creek that will never leave, no matter the calamity." I probably should have mentioned before that the king has always been cruel to the wombat. He used to lick it and try to make it stick to walls. So the wombat had Aias create an equipment store in front of the palace gate that would never go away. The royal family ended up going mad and eating one another, and ironically, the wombat was the one that was the first to go. But that is why there is to this day an equipment store blocking the palace gate in Rock Creek. If you don't believe me, go there and see. The Living Woods. The Gnarl is a creature of the forest like no other. Away from the walls of New Sheoth, they are called the Walking Trees. Gnarl are known for their affinity with the elements. If a Gnarl is struck by elemental forces of fire, frost, or shock, it uses that energy to grow stronger and larger. Fortunately, this effect only lasts for a short time. It is the will of Sheogorath that the Gnarl confuse and bewilder the unwary mage. To that end, it gains resistance to the element it is struck with, but becomes weaker to the other two. The wily mage will quickly switch between elemental spells to take advantage of this. Lesser wizards will suffer if they continue to use the same spell over and over. In recent years, there have been rumors of smiths that are able to use the amber sap extracted from the Gnarl to make sturdy armor and weapons. As of yet, this gossip has not been confirmed. More is not known about the Jarl than is known. No one has been able to determine the gender of the Gnarl, or if they even have them. Young or immature Gnarl have never been seen. One academic suggested that Gnarl are born fully formed from trees that are struck by lightning. This absurd suggestion has not been confirmed. Similarly, we have no knowledge of their diet or social habits. Presumably, they feed directly from the sun and earth like trees do. There are no reported cases of them communicating, even among each other. However, they do seem to have a truce of sorts with other woodland creatures, such as the ballywog and elytra. Godwin's Journal. 18th of Morning Star 4E201. Finally, I was able to lay my hands on a copy of the obscure poem of Tohan, written by none other than the Nerevarine, they say. This will be a great help for my research into this forgotten hero. I might just skip some classes tomorrow so I can study the poem. I can barely contain my excitement. Tonight I'll start with transcriptions of the most noteworthy parts of the poem, and tomorrow I should also start making some new notes from my research. So much to do. 19th of Morning Star 4E201. Near the end of the poem of Tohan there is an account of how the helm was laid to rest in a safe place. Apparently the Nerevarine decided to hide the helm where no man could misuse its powers. If only I could find this artifact, I could prove that Tohan really existed. If only his descendants were still alive on this day, I'd have so many questions. It would make everything so much easier. That such an amazing individual got lost in the seas of time is unfathomable. His name is worth remembering, and I fear the artifact is all that is left of his legacy. 20th of Morning Star 4E201. I stayed up all night reading and rereading the poem, and I think I'm onto something. Hints are given to the location of the helm's resting place within the poem. There are vague descriptions of the location, clues spread around the poem. My weary eyes may have missed something, so I will reread the poem again in the morning. I hope the clues will give me some concrete information to work with. 22nd of Morning Star 4E201. I've studied the lines and have come to the conclusion that the helm might be hidden here in Skyrim. The poem clearly speaks of a location in frost and ice, cave or dungeon. There are further hints describing the cave as deep, very deep. A watery grave is mentioned, someplace along the coast, the cold north. The guardian is also mentioned. He carries the key in his mind's eye. What could this mean? The place was protected? Is it still? For sure the location is here in Skyrim, but there are hundreds of caves and tombs, even along the coastline. Tomorrow I'll visit the library to see if I can find any sources on caves and dungeons in Skyrim. There must have been at least one adventurer who would have penned down his account after discovering a place like that. Or at least I hope. It won't be easy, and I could of course be completely off. It's nothing worse than a guess, but my gut tells me I'm in the right track. 23rd of Morning Star 4E201. The lock on the diary was opened. Pages were stirred. I've not told anybody how close I am to finding the helm, and now it seems someone is getting curious. I suspect it's Lirya. She's always been asking too many questions. I should keep the journal on me at all times from now on. The last page of the book is torn out. Notes on the Divine Crusader Relics. After examining the book Lost Relics of the Ages Volume 3, I have determined that the relics are all contained within magically bound chests, each requiring the blessing of the divine who wrought the relic within to be upon the would-be opener of the chest. The only other way to open it would be with the ring of Sir Amiel. This book gives vague references to their locations, but I believe that I have a solid list of where to look and what blessing is needed. Helm, Dibella, Duskglow Crevice, Cuirass and Greaves, Mara or Akatosh, Toval's Cave, Boots, Kinnereth, Mossy Glen Cave, Mace, Zenithar, Fort Sunguard, Shield, Julianos, Nightgate Inn, Gauntlets, Stendar, Ragnvald, Sword, Arke, Temple of the Nine. Research Notes on Tohan by Godwin Belmont. Tohan is a hero of obscure Breton and Nordic folklore. Stories of his deeds used to be the subject of children's bedtime stories. These stories would tell of a man named Tohan, a warrior mage who fought against all manner of evil to keep the children of his land safe at night. The tale is told to teach children to show respect for the men and women who guard the borders of their towns, cities, and countries night and day. This already little-known fairy tale has faded into obscurity since the start of the Fourth Era, and is only known to a few today. However, there is another reason why the name of Tohan has survived. These days, Tohan is best remembered by rumors of his legendary helm. The Helm of Tohan, named after the man who crafted and wore it, The helm was made out of adamantium, powerful metal, which was used all over Tamriel. By the end of the Third Era, adamantium ore became rare, and the already costly metal became even costlier. Besides this, the art of crafting adamantium armor also went into decline by this time. Back in its day, many elves and Breton smiths worked this material, creating light but powerful weapons and armors. And these days, there's little demand for this material, mostly because of the price, making adamantium weapons and armor exclusive to only the richest in this world. If anything, it makes Tohan's helmet even more valuable. The artifact eventually outlived its creator in fame and became a prized and much sought-after possession for many adventurers, for many ages. In recent times, though, the artifact has disappeared and also fallen into obscurity like its creator. The children's fairy tale about Tohan is obscure at best and reveals little as to who the person Tohan was. The best source of information these days is the poem Tohan. This 100-verse poem appeared a few years before the Oblivion Crisis. It gives a detailed account of the character of Tohan, his rise, adventures, and eventual fall. The poem is never credited to any writer, though popular belief has it that the poem was written by none other than the Nerevarine, Lord Nerevar incarnated and hero of Morrowind. There is no official source to back up this claim, and it is based purely on popular rumors, myth, and speculation. It is said that in the year 427 of the Third Era, the helm of Tohan fell into the hands of the Nerevarine, who used it in his own quest. Apparently in the following year he was contacted by a Breton woman, who claimed to be a direct descendant from the legendary Tohan himself. She thanked him for recovering her ancestor's artifact and asked the Nerevarine for a favor. Stories of Tohan's deeds were so well known to her family, passed down by generation lest the world would fully forget who this hero was. She was now without children, and feeling age take its toll upon her body. Her fear was that with her death the legend of Tohan would also leave this world. So she asked the Nerevarine to help document the saga and bring the deeds of Tohan back into the light of the world. Her reasoning was that the writings of another hero would surely be read and remembered. She told the Nerevarine everything she knew, and based on her words, he wrote the poem of Tohan. The poem tells of Tohan's great deeds and fights, the monsters and madmen he slew, and how he kept the world safe from evil. The poem also goes into details on his helm. How much the poem is based on reality is hard to determine. There are no other sources to verify or protest against any of the accounts given. The poem of Tohan did bring us more details about the life of this hero, but it sadly never revived the popularity of his legend. The poem has remained little known to this day.
The Mythic Dawn Commentaries, Volume 2. Commentaries on the Mysterium Xarxes, Book 2, by Markarth Cameron, the second book read by initiates to the Mythic Dawn cult. Altitude. Whosoever findeth this document, I call him brother. Answers are liberations, for the slaves of Malbiorge that came to know Numancia cast down their jailer king, Maztiak, which the Xarxes Mysterium called the Arcane. Maztiak, whose carcass was dragged through the streets by his own bone walkers, and whose flesh was opened on rocks thereon, and those angels who loved him no longer did drink from his honeyed ichors, screaming, Let all know free will, and do as they will. Your coming was foretold, my brother, by the Lord Dagon in his Book of Razors. You are to come as idols drop away from you one by one. You are exalted in eyes that have not yet set on you. You, swain to well-travelled and shatterer of mountains. You, brother, are to sit with me in paradise, and be released of all unknowns. Indeed, I shall show you his book and its foul and many-feathered rubric, so that you can put into symbols which you already know. The spear of destruction is but the milk of the unenslaved. I fault not your stumbling, for they are expected and given grace by the oils. I crave not your downfalls, though without them you might surpass me even in the coming earth of all infinities. Lord Dagon wishes you no ills but the momentous, and as he wants, you must want. And so learn from the pages of the god this, the ritual of want. Whisper to earth and earth, where the meddlers take no stones except to blood, and blood is blood, and to the cracking of bone, as bone is bone, and so to crack and answer and fall before the one and one, I call you dragon as brother and king. Hides of Drake, 7 and 7. Draught of oil, 1 and 1. Circles drawn by wet Dibbilites, 3 concentric, and let their lower blood fall where it may. A birth watched by blackbirds. Hearthfire first. And count the following when your hearing becomes blurred. Enraptured, he who finally goes unrecorded. Recorded, the slaves that without knowing turn the wheel. Enslaved, all the children of the Orbis as it is. Mythic Dawn Commentaries, Volume 3. Commentaries on the Mysterium Xarxes, Book 3, by Mankar Cameron. The third book read by initiates to the Mythic Dawn cult. Kim. The tower touches all the mantles of heaven, brother novitiates, and by its apex one can be as he will. More, be as he was, and yet changed for all else on that path for those that walk after. This is the third key of Numantia, and the secret of how mortals became makers, and makers back to mortals. The bones of the wheel need their flesh, and that is mankind's heirloom. Earthbreakers beware, for their traitors run through the Nimic paths, runner dogs of prolix gods. The dragon's blood have hidden ascension in 6,000 years of ethereal labyrinths, which is arena, which they yet deny is oath-bound. By the book, take this key and pierce the divine shell that encloses the mantle takers, the skin of gold, scarab e obrex. Woe to the oath-breakers! Of the skin of gold, the Xarxes Mysterium says, be fooled not by the forlorn that ride astray the roadway, for they lost faith, and this losing was caused by the Aedra, who would know no other planets. Whereby the words of Lord Dagon instructs us to destroy these faithless, eat or bleed dry the gone forlorn, and gain that small will that led them to walk the path of the Godhead at the first. Spit out or burn to the side that which made them delay. Know them as the Nemolai. Every new limb is paid for by the undeknown. See, brother, and give it not more to the Hydra. Reader, you will sense a shadow quiet soon. The room you are in right now will grow eyes and voices. The candle or spell light you read this by will become gateways for the traitors I have mentioned. Scorn them and fear not. Call them names. Call out their base natures. I, the Mankar of Stars, am with you, and I come to take you to my paradise, where the tower traitors shall hang on glass racks until they smile with the new revolution. That is your ward against the Nemolai. They run blue through noise, and shine only when the earth trembles with the eruption of the newly mantled. Tell them, go! Gartark al Nem! God is come! Numi Mora! Num Dele Nem! Once you walk in the mythic, it surrenders its power to you. Myth is nothing more than first wants, unutterable truth. Ponder this while searching for the fourth key. Understood laws of the arcane nature will fall away like heat. First tower dictate. Render the mutant bound where he may do no more harm. As the god of the Mundus, a light shall be his progeny, split from their divine sparks. We are 8 times 8 exarch. Let the home of Padme see us as sole exit. Kim, those who know it can reshape the land. Witness the home of the Red King once jungle. He that enters paradise enters his own mother. Alma Ruma, the Orbrus endeth in always. Endeth we seek through our dawn, all endeth. Falter now, and become one with the wayside orphans that feed me. Follow, and I shall adore you from the inside. My first daughter ran from the Dagonite road. Her name was Ruma, and I ate her with no bread, and made another, which learned, and I loved that one, and Blackbird's formed her twin behind all time. Starlight is your mantle, brother. Wear it to see by, and add its light to paradise.
Tattered journal. They've had me working down here for days now. It's not the time that's getting to me, though. It's these tunnels. I've told them countless times now to add extra supports to the weak sections of the tunnel. If only we had more of those wooden beams that we reinforce with bronze bottoms. Honestly, if I hear the earth shift one more time above my head, I'll be so stressed I may stop drinking for good. I mean, what's a Nord without his mead?
Met your match. Die, dragon! Let's see what else.
I can't decide if I'm amused or really I mean, it's turning out to be quite the habit for us, eh?
Wait, I know you.
loitering, Kaidan? You're either here for a potion or to be a nuisance. So which is it?
Bit of both, probably.
I charge extra for the nuisance.
You charge extra for bloody everything.
And yet, you keep coming back.
Because sometimes I need a potion more than I need me coin.
That almost sounded like a compliment. Careful now, I might start thinking you like my work.
Wait, I know you.
Since no one else seems to be doing anything about it, I've taken steps to rid ourselves of this skeever problem. Please do not eat this cheese, as it is laced with a dangerous poison. I repeat, this cheese is for skeevers only. If you feel the need to take a bite, I implore you to look in the mirror first and confirm that you are a skeever. If so, then you may eat to your heart's content. If you are not a skeever, then you can better serve RK by staying alive.
Come on in. Just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out. The gilded green will bloom again, all thanks to you.
Heard any rumors lately?
People say there is someone in Riften that can change your face, make you look completely different. Do you believe that? Need anything else? Just let me know.
What can I do for you?
Did you know some Alaka warriors are looking for a Redguard woman?
Are you sure? Oh no. They found me? I need your help, please. Come with me. I need to speak to you privately. Quickly, come with me.
Good dog.
So, are you working with them? You think you can take me? You so much as touch me and you're going to lose fingers. I mean it. I'll cut you in half. So the Alakir know where I am? What did they offer you? Gold? How many more of them are coming? Tell me.
Put that down before you get hurt.
I'm sorry. Just don't hurt me. I know you're not one of them, but you just can't help them. You can't let them know I'm here. Please, will you help me? There's no one here I can trust.
Good dog.
Maybe. What do you want?
I am not the person that the people of Whiterun think I am. My real name is Eamon. I am a noble of House Suda in Hammerfell. The men who are looking for me, the Alakir, they are assassins in the employ of the Aldmeri Dominion. They wish to exchange my blood for gold. I need you to root them out and drive them away before they find me and drag me back to Hammerfell for an execution.
How am I supposed to get rid of them?
They're mercenaries, only in it for the money. They're led by a man named Kamatu. Get rid of him, and the rest will scatter. I don't dare show my face, lest they recognize me, so you'll have to find out where they are.
Any suggestions as to how I find them?
I heard one of them was just arrested trying to sneak into the city. If he's locked up in the jail, perhaps you can get it out of him. Please, I know I'm asking you to do something difficult, maybe even dangerous. I just don't know who else I can trust.
Why are the Elika after you?
I don't know for sure. I spoke out against the Aldmeri Dominion publicly. I suspect that's why these men were hired to hunt me down. Find me the moment the Alikir are taken care of.
Shara's diary. Shara has a secret. Not a bad secret, like a battle-born secret affair. Not a boring secret, like the shopkeeper who hates his sister. Shara's secret is too good to be believed. Shara did not always spend her days like this. A cat who pretends to be a dog. No, Nishara used to be a bandit warrior, a member of the Crimson Dirks, famous rogues wanted by the East Empire Company, clan mothers of elsewhere, and lawbringers from here to the Somerset Isles. If the guards only knew, they would come kill her. That is why Nishara can never tell. But her time is short. She longs for company. The other day she took to begging outside the city and saw her littermate, Zaharia, walk through the gates. Nishara called her by name, but the Redguard ignored her. Nishara is sure she heard her, and it made her sad to know this. Nishara does not want to die a rogue. Perhaps she will do something mischievous and get the Whiterun guards to attack. Then she will be a warrior once more. Stablehand's note. The Dark Elf was smart to choose me. Scars aside, I can pass as a stable boy easily enough. Tell the shopkeep I got bucked by a wild one and landed face first in the briars. I'm smart like that. The other bandits always poke fun at my face, saying I look like a newborn babe, but it comes in handy for jobs like this. After seeing how well the Dark Elf pays, the entire gang will be looking for a razor pretty soon. Speaking of which, I'm supposed to meet my mysterious benefactor back at the stables, and not at the Silent Moon's camp. Not sure why, but he says if I'm followed, it's best I stay in character until I'm well clear of the city gates. Well, I hope he doesn't sneak up on me while I wait. I nearly soiled myself the last time. But smart guy that I am, I bought this tome with me to help me find him. Thing is, I opened it up and can't for the life of me figure out how it works. Only a matter of time, though, for a guy like me.
so much easier to rob when you're dead! That's it? That's all you've got? Victory or Sovngarde! Son of a... Die, damn you!
Go ahead, try and fight back.
I must wait for a quiet moment, one that's intimate, when the Jarl is not engaged in talks of war and dragons. If battle for Skyrim comes to Whiterun, I will be forced to redraw. But there will come a time when he sits idly by in his grand hall, unbothered by the world. In that moment, when the Jarl has a chance to finally breathe, I will sneak my way to the upper floors and make sure that breath is his last. And when I take my leave cloaked in shadows, all anyone will hear is a rattle. Maris's journal. I just can't shake these fools. Everywhere I go, there's another one of them on my tail. I swear that if the Brotherhood were half as relentless, it would still be a plague upon Tamriel. It seems that I am going to have to go full circle and return to the vault where I found Hircine's Spear of the Hunter entombed away so many ages before. I stumbled upon a strange runic shrine in the largest mass of land in the marshes south of Solitude, some distance to the west of Dead Man's Respite. When I touched the stone, it began to glow, and a beam of light shone like a beacon to the southeast of there. I traveled in that direction for what must have been 3 weeks, and never found anything out of the ordinary. Months later, I was in the Southlands near Helgen, and spotted what I swore were some snow-elven ruins just south of Riverwood. And when I went to investigate, I discovered a small shrine that behaved in much the same way, glowing and projecting a light after touching it. This one pointed north, presumably toward the same place the first runestone was indicating. It had me intrigued, to say the least. It wasn't until almost a year later that I happened upon a third marker, which lay high above the dragon shrine at Mount Amthor. This one was Dwemer in nature, and when touched, light shone out from the eyes of the Dwemer bust there, just like the others. After that, there was a rumble in the earth. The light was pointing to the southwest, and so I aimed to triangulate where the lights might be pointed. When I marked my map, it revealed that the center location was likely the Silent Moon's ruins, or someplace right near it. I wasted no time and began a long excavation into the Silent Moon's ruins. I hired some mercenaries for protection and a couple of diggers, and we delved deep, eventually finding a lost basement off one of the ruined tower sections where a metal hatch resided. The hatch opened easily, despite looking as if many had tried to pry the door open over many decades it was here. Inside lay an ornate Daedric spear. I surmised that this vault had been built with the express intention of sealing the spear away and involved the collective efforts of the Dwemer, Snow Elves, and ancient lords. I held on to the spear for some time until I lost it to a group of bandits. They continued to pursue me in an effort to find whatever else I might be hiding from them. No matter what I did, they kept finding me, probably due to the powers of the spear. My only remaining secret is the Codex, a grand book of ancient make which holds boundless knowledge. It seems that the more I travel and uncover, the more powerful it becomes. It isn't a spell tome per se. In fact, it behaves entirely unlike one. Instead, the book seems to relay knowledge of various subjects and imparts powers on a daily basis, depending on what is researched within its pages. You merely have to open the book and turn the page, and a new topic appears on the pages. It's really quite an astounding item. So it seems that I may be making my final stand. I have sealed away the Codex in the vault which I discovered the spear in, and the doors have been locked tight. All I can do now is wait.
Karen's Journal by Karen, about a girl's ill-fated plan to elope with her Dunmer lover. Oh, Talver, dear sweet Talver. I can't stop thinking about him. Since that first moment I laid eyes on him in the marketplace, my heart was lost. But father would never allow me to marry a commoner, much less a poor Dunmer miner. Mara, what to do? 11th of Sun's Dawn. Another letter from Talver, the third this week. He says he can't live without me, that he'd rather die than lose me to another. Oh, I feel the same way. I can't abide this any longer. Father is sure to find out eventually. The maids are all aflutter over my secret love. Something will slip. Talver and I must be long gone by then, or father will have all the Reach up in arms against him. 22nd of First Seed. I've convinced father to take me on his next trip out east. When we reach the inn at Old Hrolden, I'll slip out at night and meet Talver in the hills above Solyand. Talver says he's been saving his wages for the last few months, stowing them away in the old stump up there. With that, we should be able to buy passage to Riften and our freedom. Oh, love, I can't wait another hour.
Necromancer's Journal, 3rd of Sun's Height 4E201. An apprentice of mine recently discovered an ancient tome in a forgotten cavern during a gathering expedition. This tome is like nothing I've seen for a very long time. I believe it's a conjuration spell of some sort, but I can't be certain. I'll need to spend some time deciphering this. It could be quite valuable to us. 18th of Sun's Height 4E201. I've spent the last several weeks working tirelessly to decipher this ancient tome. It's just as I suspected. It is indeed a conjuration spell. However, the creature summoned is especially vicious. An undead zombie of wonderfully putrid potency that appears to be much more active in the late night hours. I'm not stopping now. I plan to create an even more powerful version of this spell. As Molag Bal is my witness, I shall have a zombie horde at my command before long. 15th of Last Seed 4E201. Nothing could have prepared me for the power I am about to wield. The whole of my training has been for this moment. Soon my apprentices and I shall perform a ritual the likes of which has not been seen in centuries, and bring forth an undead army, powerful and willing to do my bidding. Its power will radiate across Skyrim, bringing forth waves of undead from the darkness. The time is at hand. Mishara's confession. Mishara enjoyed her fight with the guard. Plus, her new home is better than the last. It is a very tiny cage, but she does not beg for food. It is given. Still, Mishara longs to see the night sky. When she was a kitten, the elders warned her that if she stared too long at the moons, they would grow shy, and Mishara would never see them again. This made her sad, and so Mishara vowed to stop looking at the sky, and kept her head down toward the dirt where the beggars belonged. One day she tried to steal the silver out of the pockets of a Nord named Tyra. When she heard Khajiit's story, she took pity on the kitten, and told her that the moons were not the timid creatures she had believed. She said that as long as Khajiit held her head up high, they would shine brighter than any star. From that day on, she spent her life in service to the Crimson Dirks, and when she was ready, her new littermates forged her an armor made of silver, and in its heart the piece Tyra had in her pocket so many moons ago. Mishara hid the armor in the hut northwest of Rorikstead. At times, Mishara has longed to retrieve it and wear it proudly, but she must be careful not to let sentiment cloud her judgment. Mishara suspects she is being followed, so she will leave the armor for another. Besides, it is not the silver in the armor or the moonlight in the sky that Mishara treasures, but the friends she has lost. Perhaps in death she will see them again.
What are you looking at?
I need to find Kamatu. Where is he hiding?
Good dog.
You have a death wish then? If you know that name, you must know to meet him would be to meet your end. But it seems we both have needs, friend. Perhaps we can help each other out.
What is it that you need?
I have dishonored my brothers by being captured, and so they have left me here. My life with the Alakir is over now, but I have no wish to die in this god's forsaken land. If I can be released from prison, I may start over. See to that, and I'll tell you what you want to know.
How much to pay your fine?
100 gold will secure my release. You can afford that, can't you? I suppose you'd better hope you can, if you want the information. Get the money into the hands of one of these guards, and I'll tell you what you want to know.
Why did they leave you here?
Because I was clumsy enough to be captured. Kamatu always says, we're supposed to be the best of the best. I wasn't. Until next time.
Good dog.
Death of a Crimson Dirk. The bounty for Edward, one of the Crimson Dirks, has been up for about a year. Pretty much every Jarl has a price on his head, but only one of them had to pay it. It was a big deal at the time, but to be honest, I'd forgotten all about it. But then last Sundas, this Khajiit starts barking at the gate about wanting to speak to the captain. He says he's been after Edward since the moons themselves were suckling babes. I told him to head over to the cemetery in Falkreath. He'll find the bastard dead in the ground where the worms feed. I wasn't sure if it was disbelief or disappointment on his face when I broke the news. I wonder if it had to do with the story in the book. If so, I can't imagine how far he's traveled to get here. But ever since I lost my small fingers, I haven't been one to count.
Wait, I know you.
You're making a mistake.
There's no mistake. You're a wanted woman, and it's time to pay for your crimes.
I'm the Jarl's Thane. I demand you let me go at once.
Oh, forgive me, Thane. I didn't realize it was you. We'll look the other way this time. But even the Jarl's influence has its limits. Be more careful. I trust the days found you well, Thane.
I want to pay that prisoner's fine.
Done. Convince him to stay out of the city while you're at it. Stay out of trouble, Elf.
Let's talk about how we can help each other.
You buy my way out of here, and I'll tell you what you want to know.
Your fine's been paid. Now tell me about Kamatu.
Very well. Kamatu is west of Whiterun. It's an unassuming little cave called Swindler's Den. You realize if you set foot in there, you're never coming back out? They'll kill you. But that's your problem, not mine. Guard! Good dog. My fine's been paid, now set me free!
Sorry, my ears aren't so good. You say something?
I said my fine has been paid. Now let me out!
Right. Oh, look at that. I seem to have lost my keys. Might take me a while to find them. You just sit tight. I'll get around to it eventually.
Curse you!
What is it, then?
Hi, Mr. Kaidan. I had a dream you fought a dragon last night.
Aye?
You won. The dragon cried and flew away.
Clever dragon.
You're the best. Can you be my mother?
Shadow hide you.
Of course. Lady, could you spare a coin? Oh, thank you. Divines, bless your kind heart. All right, then.
Stay out of trouble, Elf.
It's hard to see.
Another wanderer, here to lick my father's boots. Good job. The only grown-ups who talk to me are the kind I don't want talking to me. Have I done something to make you bother me?
Divines bless you. May the ground you walk quake as you pass. Excellent. You've done us a great service. Here is your reward. Enjoy your visit to Dragon's Reach.
It pleases me to
Father
see
says
you again,
I'm too
child.
young to train with the sword.
Why?
So I practice with my fists.
You're a man who respects our traditions, and you don't stand idly by while dragons attack.
Letting innocents be hurt wouldn't be right.
It
May the
seems our
gods
enemies
watch.
have no
What
end
is
of
it that you need?
spies, saboteurs, and assassins to send against us.
Now, if you don't mind, I've got a city to keep.
Divine smile on you, friend.
That's a nasty way to go.
I trust the days found you well, Thane.
I serve Jarl Balgruuf as steward.
I found the assassin and took care of him.
Excellent. You've done us a great service. Here is your reward. Enjoy your visit to Dragon's Reach.
Stay out of trouble, Elf.
Do you get to the Cloud District very often? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you don't.
It's no fun getting pushed around all the time.
Having trouble?
Yes. Braith bullies me all the time. All the elders think I'm a milk drinker because I can't fight. Nobody understands. If you can get Braith to leave me alone, I'll be your best friend. Forever. I'll pay you too. My whole life savings. 2 septims.
I'll talk to this girl.
Oh, good. She'll listen to you. I just know it. Bye.
Excuse me, but I'm trying to read.
What are you looking at? I'm not afraid of you, you know, even if you are my elder. Boys, girls, dogs, elders, there's nobody I won't fight.
You need to stop bullying Lars Battleborn.
Yeah? Why?
I'm his bodyguard. Mess with him, you mess with me.
Okay, I'll leave him alone. I was just kidding around. Besides, if he'd only kiss me, I wouldn't have to beat him up all the time. We done?
It's actually quite beautiful here. You will not walk away alive when my blade is unsheathed. Riddance. Easy. Good girl. Come here and do your worst. Fuck me. I was just doing what I do best. I'm glad to be wandering the wilds with you. That cave could make good shelter, provided we clear out whatever's inside.
Look at the size of those things!
See the mammoth? Watch out for the ones with the carvings on their tusks. That's how the giants mark their herds.
What is it? Fall to my blade!
It's the end of it.
Isolde's message by Isolde, a note between a sleeping tree sap dealer and supplier. Don't try to stiff me on this deal, Ulag. I can talk the Khajiit caravans into a better price than you'd be able to, and the guards are still looking for you after that little skooma incident. Just bring the sap to my stall in Whiterun, like we discussed. Isolde.
You see, the giants came from all its more. On the edges of myths,
You'll die this day! Bastard!
Good riddance.
nothing compares to the wilds of Skyrim.
Come on! Give up!
Bloody dog.
Scorville's journal. If you are reading this, it means they may have reached me first. The Mythic Dawn do not tolerate desertion. A fitting end for my transgressions, I suppose. If you know of the Mythic Dawn, you may have heard that the cult was eradicated long ago, after the Oblivion crisis of the Third Era came to an end. This was true until perhaps 1 year passed. Discord began to sow in the lands of Skyrim. The whispers of Mehrunes Dagon made their way to the ears and minds of a fervent worshipper named Vonos. These whispers led him deep underground to an ancient Mythic Dawn temple, long since collapsed, where rumors spoke of an Oblivion Gate lying in ruin for centuries. Vonos soon made pact with Mehrunes Dagon and began to quietly reform the Mythic Dawn as its new leader. He began to cultivate more members to the cause, and I myself fell victim to the promise of such power. After the Oblivion crisis, the gates throughout Skyrim were buried deep within the lands. However, with much effort, we retrieved many of these pieces and successfully rebuilt an Oblivion Gate. Vonos, a master of conjuration, has been working tirelessly to open the gate and give Mehrunes Dagon's troops a doorway into Tamriel. As dictated by the pact, the cleansing of the Oblivion Gate required a personal blood sacrifice from each of us to prove our devotion. Blinded by ambition, I offered up my own brother, Sun, a simple farmer who could not harm a dartweed. Watching the knife penetrate his body sent shock and horror through my entire being. The blood that spilled from his loins was that of my blood. In that moment, I realized what I had done. It was not power that bewitched me, but deceit. As an acolyte, I was not privy to much information, but I know that Vonos is searching for a powerful, ancient artifact that is necessary to open the gate. What that artifact might be, I do not know. I heard something about an excavation camp to the southwest of Iverstead, near a mountain pass. Perhaps more information can be found there. Lastly, in order to keep its location secret, all but the highest priests in the Order are blindfolded when taken to and from the Oblivion Gate, so I have no further information to give you as to its whereabouts. I only know it was a cave. I wish I could tell you more. I've been on the run day and night, and now the Vigil of Stendarr are also on my trail. I can only imagine what they might do to someone like me. So I come to you with my plea, someone who might better understand my plight. Please stop the Mythic Dawn however you can. For myself, my forsaken brother, and the whole of Tamriel. Scorville.
Never should have come here.
I'm not sure I like these Alakir warriors hiding out here. They seem like trouble.
Keep it to yourself. They're not paying us to talk. They'll be gone as soon as they've found whoever they're looking for. And we'll have all the more corn.
Told him just to hand over the gold. But did he listen? Oh no. They always have to fight back.
Huh?
You want to do this the hard way? Fine. You can go to hell. You're a bit distracting in a fight. I mean, I like watching you fight. I like watching you in that fight. Right, left, whatever it is, we can handle. What's that about you? Do you know that?
Just a scratch.
Does he bite? Fuck around and find
So
out.
much easier to rob than dead.
Motherfuckers!
Alakir, hold! You've proven your strength, boy. Let's avoid any more bloodshed. I think you and I have some things to talk about. Good evening. What do you need? Stay your hand, warrior. It's no secret why you're here. And you have proven your skill in combat. Let us talk a moment, and no one else needs to die. I think we can all profit from the situation in which we find ourselves. My men will not attack you if you will lower your weapons.
I've been sent here to kill you.
Of course. Sent by... What is it that she's calling herself these days? Shazra? Sadia? One of those, correct? Did she appeal to your sense of honor? Your greed? A more base need, perhaps? It doesn't matter. No doubt she's convinced you that she's the victim. But do you know why we pursue her?
Sadia told me, you're assassins.
Assassins? No, nothing so crass. Sadia, as you know her, is wanted by the noble houses of Tanith for treason. We were hired to see her return to Hammerfell for her crimes. You can help us with that, and make sure no one else gets hurt.
What was her crime?
She sold the city out to the Aldmeri Dominion. Were it not for her betrayal, Tanith could have held its ground in the war. The other noble houses discovered her betrayal, and she fled. They want her brought back alive. The resistance against the Dominion is alive and well in Hammerfell, and they want justice.
I was hired to kill you, and that's what I intend to do.
I'd hoped we could work something out. That you would see reason. That we could avoid having to kill you. Very well then. If that's the way you want to play it, we will. Is someone there?
Strike.
Now you're mine. This is what you want, huh? You can't beat me. You win. No, I submit. I yield. You're dead.
Once again, that went very well.
These bandits deserve little more than a blade in their spine.
There's something the matter, Dragonborn.
Did you want this copy of the Amulet of Kings?
I've been meaning to read this. Thank you. Here, I've got something for you too.
I need to trade some things.
Yeah, of course.
About surviving out here.
Aye.
I'm exhausted.
Aye, we ought to make camp.
Could you set up a campsite?
Okay. Give me a minute, and I'll set up a tent. You'll be safe and warm inside. Anything for you. It's good to see you at ease.
I admit it does feel good to have time to relax and catch my breath for once.
Ah, I like the thought of a rest.
Oh, that's a good idea, Kai. If I'm tired, you must be exhausted.
But you're not kidding there. There's an old saying, life is an adventure. I didn't know it would be quite so literal until I met you.
That sounds like a man who learned the hard way not to swear oaths to strangers.
No, not at all. I feel like I can just be myself when I'm around you. And I've never experienced that before.
I'm glad to hear that, Kaidan, because I've found myself feeling that way too.
Yes, well, I just thought you should know.
Thank you for telling me.
I will, give you a hug?
Yes, I think I'd like that, Kai. A hug would feel really comforting right now.
I'm glad to hear that. Hello there, lass.
I'm going to get some sleep.
The cold this far north has a way of creeping into your bones. I could think of a way or two to keep you warm.
Oh? I could use some company between the furs.
You've been thinking it too. Stay with me tonight. You know I'll still be there in the morning.
Gods, I want you too.
I could tear that armor right off your body. Come here. You will need a campfire tonight. Bit warm in here. I might have to strip down a bit. Care to join me?
Letter from Kaidan, 28 First Seed, 201. Lirya, it seems Eric hasn't given up his dreams of seeing Skyrim and having adventures. I can't say it surprises me, given how many nights we've spent whispering about dungeons and crypts we'd explore together someday. We had it all planned out, you see. How I'd handle the tracking and hunting for us while he'd draw maps so we wouldn't get lost. and we'd come out of them with our packs stuffed full of treasure and shite. Can't help laughing when I look back now, if the way I bragged I could find any trap we came across. Although I guess that one turned out to be true, given how often I would go running face first into them and set me arse on fire. Do me a favor and don't tell him that part, eh? Kaidan. Scribbled notes. Khajiit's ring obtained. Warlock's ring, location unknown. Vampiric ring, last seen in possession of a vampire master of unknown designation, now believed to be dead. Resting location unknown. Mentor's ring, in the hand of renegade wizards. Last known location was the Hjalmarch swamps, not too far outside Morthal. Ring of Finester, in possession of the Thalmor, most likely taken in Northwatch Keep. Stranger's note. You're here about a job. You don't know what it's for, but I'm sure you're intrigued. It's all right. You don't need to know everything just yet. There's a strongbox in Bali's house, placed in a dresser next to his bed. Find a way to crack it open. Your instructions for the job are inside. A stranger. 36 Lessons of Vivek, Sermon 13. These were the days of Resdania, when Keimer and Dwemer lived under the wise and benevolent rule of the Almsivi and their champion, the Hortator. When the gods of Veloth would retreat unto their own to mold the cosmos and other matters, the Hortator would at times become confused. Vivek would always be there to advise him, and this is the second of the 3 lessons of ruling kings. The secret syllable of royalty is this. You must learn this elsewhere. The temporal myth is man. The magical cross is an integration of the worth of mortals at the expense of their spirits. Surround it with a triangle, and you begin to see the triune house. It becomes divided into corners which are ruled by our brethren, the 4 corners, Baal, Dagon, Malak, Sheol. Rotate the triangle and you pierce the heart of the beginning place, the foul lie, the testament of the irrefutable for a span. Above them all is the horizon where only one stands, though no one stands there yet. It is proof of the new. It is the promise of the wise. Unfold the whole, and what you have is a star, which is not my domain, but not entirely outside my judgment. The grand design takes flight. It is transformed not only into a star, but a hornet. The center cannot hold. It becomes devoid of lines and points. It becomes devoid of anything, and so becomes a receptacle. This is its usefulness in the end. This is its promise. The sword is the cross, and Almsivi is the triune house around it. If there is to be an end, I must be removed. The ruling king must know this, and I will test him. I will murder him time and time again until he knows this. I am the defender of the last and the last. To remove me is to refill the heart that lay dormant at the center that cannot hold. I am the sword. I am the star. Set the mechanism that allows the transformation of the world. Ours is the duty to keep the compromise from being filled with black sea. The Sharmat sleeps at the center. He cannot bear to see it removed, the world of reference. This is the folly of the false dreamer. This is the amnesia of dream, or its power, or its circumvention. This is the weaker magic, and it is barbed in venom. This is why I say the secret to swords is the mercy seat. It is my throne. I am become the voice of Almsivi. The world will know me more than my sister and brother. I am the cyclopomp. I am the killer of the weeds of Veloth. Veloth is the center that cannot hold. I am is the plot. Set is the ending. I am the enigma that must be removed. These are why my words are armed to the teeth. The ruling king is to stand against me, and then before me. He is to learn from my punishment. I will mark him to know. He is to come as male or female. I am the form he must acquire, because a ruling king that sees in another his equivalent rules nothing. This is what was said to the Hortator when Vivek was not whole. The ending of the words is Almsivi. The Alakir by Enric Milnes. I might never have gone to the Alakir Desert had I not met Weltan in the little tavern in Sentinel. Weltan is a Redguard poet whose verse I had read, but only in translation. He chooses to write in the old language of the Redguards, not in Tamrielic. I once asked him why. The Tamrielic word for the divinely rich child of rot, silky, pressed sour milk is cheese, said Welton, a huge smile spreading like a tide over his lamp-black face. The old Redguard word for it is mlul. Tell me, if you were a poet fluent in both languages, which word would you use? I'm a child of the cities, and I would tell him tales of the noise and corruption, wild nights and energy, culture and decadence. He listened with awed appreciation of the city of my birth, white marbled imperial city, where all the citizenry are convinced of their importance because of the proximity of the emperor and the lustration of the streets. They say that a beggar on the boulevards of the imperial city is a man living in a palace. Over spiced ale I regaled Welton with descriptions of the swarming marketplace of Riverhold, of dark, brooding Mournhold, of the mold-encrusted villas of Lilmoth, the wonderful, dangerous alleys of Hellstrom, the stately avenues of great old solitude. For all this he marveled, inquired, and commented. I feel as if I know your home, the Alakir Desert, from your poems, even though I've never been there, I told him. Oh, but you don't. No poem can express the Alakir. It may prepare you for a visit far better than the best guidebook can. But if you want to know Tamriel and be a true citizen of the planet, you must go and feel the desert yourself. It took me a little over a year to break off engagements, save money, my greatest challenge, and leave the urban life for the Alakir Desert. I brought several books of Weltan's poems as my travel guide. A sacred flame rises above the fire, the ghosts of great men and women without names, cities long dead rise and fall in the flame. The Dioscuri song of revelation, bursting walls and deathless rock, firing sand that heals and destroys. These first 6 lines from my friends On the Immortality of Dust prepared me for the first image of the Alakir Desert, but they hardly do it justice. My poor pen cannot duplicate the severity, grandeur, ephemera, and permanence of the Alakir. All the principalities and boundaries the nations have placed on the land dissolve under the moving sand of the desert. I could never tell if I was in Antiphalos or Bergama, and few of the inhabitants could tell me. For them, and so it came to me, we were simply in the Alakir. No, we are part of the Alakir. That is closer to the philosophy of the desert people. I saw the sacred flame of which Weltan wrote on my first morning in the desert. A vast red mist that seemed to come from the deep mystery of Tamriel. Long before the noon sun, the mist had disappeared. Then I saw the cities of Weltan. The ruins of the Alakir rise from the sand by one blast of the unbounded wind, and are covered by the next. Nothing in the desert lasts, but nothing dies forever. At daylight I hid myself in tents, and thought about the central character of the Redguards that would cause them to adopt this savage, eternal land. They are warriors by nature. As a group, there are none better. Nothing for them has worth unless they have struggled for it. No one fought them for the desert, but the Alakir is a great foe. The battle goes on. It is a war without rancor, a holy war in the sense the phrase should always imply. By night, I could contemplate the land itself in its relative serenity. But the serenity was superficial. The stones themselves burned with a heat and a light that comes not from the sun, nor the moon's Joan and Jode. The power of the stones comes from the heat at the heart of Tamriel itself. 2 years I spent in the Alakir. As I write this, I am back in Sentinel. We are at war with the kingdom of Daggerfall for the possession of a grass-covered rock that belongs to the water of the Iliac Bay. All my fellow poets, writers, and artists are despondent for the greed and pride that brought these people into battle. It is a low point, a tragedy, in the words of old Redguard, an Ashia, a spiral down. Yet I cannot be sorrowful. In the years I spent in the glories of the Alakir, I have seen the eternal stones that live on while men go dead. I have found my inner eye in the trackless, formless, changeless, and changeable land. Inspiration and hope, like the stones of the desert, are eternal, though men be not.
Babajack. Little boys shouldn't summon up the forces of eternal darkness unless they have an adult supervising. I know. But on that sunny night of the 5th of first seed, I didn't want an adult. I wanted Hermes Mora, the Daedra of knowledge, learning, gums, and varnishes. You see, I was told by a beautiful large-breasted man who lived under the library in my hometown that the 5th of first seed was Hermes Mora's night. And if I wanted the Ogma Infinium, the Book of Knowledge, I had to summon him. When you're the new King of Solitude, every bit of knowledge helps. Normally you need a Witch's Coven or a Mage's Guild or at least magic pillowcases and sheets to invoke a Prince of Oblivion. The man under the library showed me how to do it myself. He told me to wait until the storm was at its height before shaving the cat. I've forgotten the rest of that ceremony, doesn't really matter. Someone appeared who I thought was Hermes Mora. The only thing that made me somewhat suspicious was Hermes Mora, from what I read, was a big blobby multi-eyed clawed monstrosity, and this guy looked like a waistcoated banker. Also he kept calling himself Shogorath, not Hermes Moras. Still I was so happy to have successfully summoned Hermes Mora, these inconsistencies did not bother me. He had made me do some things that didn't make any sense to me, beyond the mortal scope, breath, and can I suppose, and then his servant happily gave me something he called the Webberjack. Webberjack. Maybe the Webberjack is the book of knowledge. Maybe I'm smarter because I know cats can be bats, can be rats, can be hats, can be gnats, can be tats, can be disses. And that doors can be bores, can be snores, can be floors, can be roars, can be spores, can be yours, can be mine. I must be smart, for the interconnective system is very clear to me. Then why or wherefore do people call me mad? Webberjack.
Ancient Tales of the Dwemer, Part 11, Azura and the Box, by Marabar Sol. Nickelbar had enjoyed an adventurous youth, but had grown to be a very wise, very old Dwemer, who spent his life searching for the truth and dispelling superstitions. He invented much and created many theorems and logic structures that bore his name, but much of the world still puzzled him, and nothing was a greater enigma to him than the nature of the Aedra and the Daedra. Over the course of his research, he came to the conclusion that many of the gods were entirely fabricated by man and Mer. Nothing, however, was a greater question to Nickelbar than the limits of divine power. Were the greater beings the masters of the entire world, or did the humbler creatures have the strength to forge their own destinies? As Nickelbar found himself nearing the end of his life, he felt he must understand this last basic truth. Among the sage's acquaintances was a holy chimera priest named Athennic. When the priest was visiting, Nickelbar told him what he intended to do to find the nature of divine power. Athennic was terrified, and pleaded with his friend not to break his great mystery, but Nickelbar was resolute. Finally, the priest agreed to assist out of love for his friend, though he feared the results of his blasphemy. Athennic summoned Azura. After the usual rituals by which the priest declared his faith in her powers, and Azura agreed to do no harm to him, Nickelbar and a dozen of his students entered the summoning chamber, carrying with them a large box.
As we see you in our land, Azura, you're the goddess of the dusk and the dawn, and all the mysteries therein,
said Nickelbar, trying to appear as kindly and as obsequious as he could.
It is said that your knowledge is absolute.
So it is,
smiled the Daedra.
You would know, for example, what is in this wooden box,
said Nickelbar. Azura turned to Athennic, her brow furrowed. The priest was quick to explain.
Goddess, this Dwemer is a very wise and respected man. Believe me, please, the intention is not to mock your greatness, but to demonstrate it to this scientist and the rest of his skeptical race. I've tried to explain your power to him, but his philosophy is such that he must see it demonstrated.
If I am to demonstrate my might in a way to bring the Dwemer race to understanding, it might have been a more impressive feat you would have me do,
snapped Azura, and turned to look Nickelbar in the eye.
There's a red-petaled flower in the box.
Nicobar did not smile or frown. He simply opened the box and revealed to all that it was empty. When the students turned to look to Azura, she was gone. Only Athenic had seen the goddess's expression before she vanished, and he could not speak, he was trembling so. A curse had fallen, he knew that truly, but even crueler was the knowledge of divine power that had been demonstrated. Nicobar also looked pale, uncertain on his feet, but his face shone with not fear, but bliss. The smile of a Dwemer, finding evidence for a truth only suspected. 2 of his students supported him, and 2 more supported the priest as they left the chamber.
I have studied very much over the years, performed countless experiments, taught myself 1,000 languages. And yet the skill that has taught me the final truth is the one that I learned when I was but a poor young man, trying only to have enough gold to eat,
whispered the sage. As he was escorted up the stairs to his bed, a red flower petal fell from the sleeve of his voluminous robe. Nicobar died that night, a portrait of peace that comes from contented knowledge.
Publisher's note. This is another tale whose origin is unmistakably Dwemer. Again, the words of some Aldmeris translations are quite different, but the essence of the story is the same. The Dunmer have a similar tale about Nicobar, but in the Dunmer version, Azura recognizes the trick and refuses to answer the question. She slays the Dwemer present for their skepticism and curses the Dunmer for blasphemy. In the Aldmeris version, Azura is tricked not by an empty box, but by a box containing a sphere which somehow becomes a flat square. Of course, the Aldmeris version, being a few steps closer to the original Dwemer, are much more difficult to understand. Perhaps this stage magic explanation was added by Gorham Phelim because of Phelim's own experience with such tricks in his plays when a mage was not available. Marabar Sol left even the character of Nicobar alone, and he represents many Dwemer virtues. His skepticism, while not entirely as absolute in the Aldmeris version, is celebrated even though it brings a curse upon the Dwemer and the unnamed house of the poor priest. Whatever the true nature of the gods, and how right or wrong the Dwemer were about them, this tale might explain why the dwarves have vanished from the face of Tamriel. Though Nicobar and his kind may not have intended to mock the Aedra and Daedra, their skepticism certainly offended the divine orders.
Oh, this is just what I need right now.